Welcome back to the Burger Varsity Football House on the campus of Lafayette College. We are in Easton, Pennsylvania. This is National Signing Day presented by Coke Zero. Well, we've had a lot of VIP conversation today because the major VIPs that you talk about on National Signing Day are the football players. There are 20 of them coming to Lafayette College. And by the way, the women's soccer and women's field hockey signees are also on GoLeopards.com as we speak. There are bios on all the football players. It's a great website. Go to GoLeopards.com for so much information. As far as VIPs, though, are concerned, I'm not sure I have talked to anybody more important, nor is there anybody in the list of 20 football players more important than the guy I'm going to talk to right now, and that's Matt Hyde. He is the Director of Admissions here at Lafayette College. He has been here for a year and a half, but more importantly than that, he has been here for the first year of scholarships, and therefore an integral part of the Leopards that are going to be coming on campus here in the spring. So first of all, Matt, welcome to GoLeopards.com for the first time. Nice to meet you.
Thanks.
And let's talk a little bit about the role of your office in the recruiting process before we talk about that role in terms of the scholarship process.
In the end, it's the admissions office job to craft a class and create a community for Lafayette based on who we populate our first year class with. So we've spent the last number of months on the road and traveling throughout the country and around the world, generating excitement about Lafayette and building our applicant pool. And happy to report that for the second year in a row, we have a record applicant pool. As of 45 minutes ago, we have 6,723 applicants.
Wait a minute, we can't just breeze over that number.
Okay.
You've had over 6,000 applicants to Lafayette College.
Correct.
For one class.
Correct. Coming from his 48 states and 94 countries, representing 2,720 high schools. So getting into the numbers and data just a little bit now, the deadline is passed. So there's a lot to get excited about.
Well, I think then we have to give some credit to your complete office. I know you haven't gone through over 6,000 applications yourself.
No, not at all. We're very fortunate to have a very powerful admissions team on many levels. There are well over a dozen of us who have spent time on the road and across the country and around the world. But right now we're in the moment of evaluating this pool, and that's no easy task. I love that we work at an institution that doesn't employ any kind of admissions calculus. I mean, it's our job to really assess and understand who these students are and what they bring to the table, certainly academically as scholars, but also as artists and athletes, as activists, as whatever it is they want to become in college. So we become the voice of their applications and do everything that we can to champion the moment they have to be advocated for as a fit and match for Lafayette.
Well, with all the bad news that's out there every single day when you open up the newspaper, this is flat out great news when you talk about the kind of student that anticipates coming to Lafayette College, and with all the institutions around the country. But we know what the academic standards are here. We know what the admission standards are here. To think that over 6,000 young men and women believe that this is the college for them says something, I think, about our youth that maybe isn't said enough.
Sure, and it's 6,700.
Yeah,
so don't forget those other 700. We've worked hard for them. But I think Lafayette does a really wonderful job about articulating our message and what sets us apart from all the other wonderful colleges and universities out there. And so Lafayette has a really powerful story to tell, and we have a wonderful admissions team that's done a great job at not just wrapping their head around that story and the message, but at celebrating it really thoughtfully and effectively, not just in our backyard, but further afield. We're at a moment right now where Lafayette is beginning to plant its flag well beyond our backyard, and it's great to see the 6,700 applicants coming from all over the country and all over the world.
Let's talk about your staff.
Sure.
I think we should mention their names because they're doing great work.
Sure. I wish there's a moment for us to list every one of them. They've all had real contributions to the team. But as far as it goes with athletic admissions, I'm very fortunate to have a wonderful partner in Lori Chisezzi, our Associate Director of Admissions and Financial Aid. She does a really great job at shepherding the process for our student athletes on the admissions side of things, and is a great partner for me and for our Dean of Admissions and our Director of Financial Aid, really understanding the landscape of student athlete admissions, and does a great job at directing our efforts.
I've talked to the assistant coaches today, the offense coordinator, defense coordinator, and some of the other people here, but when I talked to them, and I talked to head coach Frank Devani, and I said, what was the most important part of the process? He says, it's the people in admissions that were the most important part of the process. So tell me what your role is in conjunction to the role of the football coaches to get the kids here on campus.
Well, it's a fact that athletics matter at Lafayette, especially when we step beyond our backyard. when students who aren't as familiar with Lafayette or the Patriot League ask about the spirit and presence of students on campus. We're lucky that we have the intimate atmosphere that we have, but we also have a really powerful experience for our student athletes. Well over a quarter of our students are Division I recruited varsity athletes, and that's something that we celebrate on a number of levels. But on the admissions side of things, we recognize that we have opportunities to partner with our colleagues in athletics. Looking at this at the football staff and the other coaching staffs of the 23 programs that we offer, they're doing similar work as to what we're doing. They're getting out there and sharing Lafayette in powerful ways and exciting and inspiring future student athletes to be part of our programs. So we're really doing the same work in the end, and we're fortunate that we have a really strong partnership that is fluid in the communication that happens, and there's a really important back and forth that allows us to make very good choices about the student athletes that we are recruiting, but also the ones that we're putting into the class.
I know what Frank's message is. We see kids all the time going through here on recruiting trips and also on just visitations to the college. And I know you deal with those students too. What's your message to the students as opposed to maybe what Frank's message is, or are the messages really the same?
There is certainly commonality. I think the athletic recruiting staff across the programs does a great job at articulating, why Lafayette in particular is a powerful force, certainly in the Patriot League. But our experience here is distinct, it's unique. And I think when I look across the Patriot League, the intimacy and access our student athletes have to opportunities beyond and well beyond the classroom is certainly powerful. But the message is similar. And once those students are here on campus trying to figure out, is this the right fit for me athletically, I appreciate that our coaching staff really helps them understand the fit academically first, to really get a feel for, is this a place where I can thrive as a student? Because that's mission critical to their ability to thrive as an athlete.
I did a little research on Matt Hyde, and I've discovered that you kind of fit that same mold personally, as you are a gentleman that has a great academic background. I'll just throw Harvard out as your master's degree at Harvard University. But I also know that you have a love of athletics. So that's probably the perfect combination as far as the guys in this office are concerned.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of athletics on many levels. I recognize the practical intelligence that students and student athletes can develop in setting goals and learning how to work hard and achieve those goals, how to work within a team and collaborate, how to lead. A lot of that doesn't happen necessarily just in a chemistry lab or in a dorm. It happens in locker rooms and on the soccer pitch and on the soccer field. So as an athlete myself, I value what athletes bring to the table. And I actually wanted to play football growing up, but my parents didn't let it happen. But the joke's on them. I still had 7 concussions when I was a little kid. So, I really do value what student athletes bring to the table on so many levels. And I think we benefit as an institution by having their presence, their energy. And I think they have moments to inspire and excite us on the field and off.
This is obviously the first year of scholarships. So has there been a different kind of process because of that?
Flying up at 30,000 feet, looking at the big picture and the admission side of things, not necessarily. I think it's been important for our coaching staffs with scholarships on board to be much more targeted and purposeful in their recruitment. And I think it made our job a little more comfortable, not necessarily having to pull the need conversation into the mix as deliberately as we might have had to in the past. So I think it gave our coaching staff a firmer platform to go out and recruit the students they wanted to recruit. And I think it will pay dividends down the line when we see their success on our campus.
I think Mickey Fine put it very well when I spoke with him this afternoon, that there used to be 3 pieces to the puzzle. You had to be a good enough athlete to play here at Lafayette. True. You certainly had to be an outstanding academic student to get admitted here at Lafayette. And there also was the financial side of it. Right. That sort of has been taken away. And now it's about the athletics and the academics. And I think there were some people, when scholarships were first talked about, felt that the academic side might suffer. And in fact, it's kind of been just the opposite, hasn't it?
It has on many levels. And I appreciate that within our process we can assign merit and quality to any number of things in an application. And when you empower a coaching staff to be much more deliberate and focused in their recruitment, they can better understand what some of our priorities are on the admission side of things, certainly academically, but also in recruiting a more dynamic, diverse class, geographically, ethnically, and culturally, in terms of the diversity of lived experiences our students are bringing. A number of these recruits that I was fortunate enough to meet, certainly football recruits, but also those who are signing with other programs, have been really excited about what they're going to bring to the table, certainly as student athletes, but also beyond that as members of this community.
Well, I think you can understand when we talk about dynamic and diverse. Matt Hyde certainly fits that picture. Matt, I want to thank you for your
so much.
involvement in the process. Nice to meet you
Nice
for
to
the
meet
first
you.
time. Director of Admissions, I'm ready to go to Lafayette just talking to him.
We can be roommates.
There we go. Just remember, once again, that at 5:30 we'll have the wrap-up show. We finally get a chance to talk to head coach Frank Devani. That is at 5:30. Again, on the website, you can see all the recruits that have been granted admission here to Lafayette College. So for now, I'll say goodbye, but again, come on back at 5:30 and we'll talk to the head coach.